Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us today at the Career Talk Women in STEM Making a Difference, co-organized with the European Union delegation and CCI France and Schneider Electrics. Today, we are meeting after the first Career Talk that was hosted at SUAD on October 8th about women in defense. And after defense, today it's STEM, and we are delighted to partner with those three institutions to bridge the gender gap in STEM. In the UAE, we know that women represent approximately 61% of STEM graduates versus 17% in the European Union. And just as a small example, at the UAE Space Agency, women reach to 45% of the workforce. If we compare it to countries like France or the European Union or OECD countries, STEM jobs, for example, in France, are only occupied by 33% of women, which is a big difference between France and the UAE. That's why we said that the UAE, and here us at Sorbonne University Abu Dhabi, we paved the way for women in STEM by giving them opportunities to succeed. And today, we will hear the journeys and the careers of our panelists, whether it's Mouza, Tala, Thuraya, Paloma, Farah, and Lama, who are just the best example of successful women in STEM in the UAE and role models for the young women here and in the region. The UAE education system and us at Sorbonne University Abu Dhabi set the example for the world. The double role of a university is to participate in closing the gender gap, not only in STEM, but also widely on the job market. I would say that the first role is to teach critical thinking and to empower women to take career in STEM. And the second role, which is also as much as important as the first one, is to develop sociological research, studies, to push for a data-driven decision-making process and encourage leaders to put women at those positions, to encourage women to take roles in STEM and to bridge the gap. Today, as we speak, in Dubai is happening the Global Women Forum under the patronage of His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, the Vice President and Prime Minister of the UAE and ruler of Dubai, and organized by the UAE Gender Balance Council. This forum sets the path at the level of the UAE to explore the role of women in critical sectors with other 65 countries from around the world. And one of them is impactful technologies, impactful innovations. This example is only one of the UAE's action to support women in STEM and is a testimonial at the highest level to break the gender glass ceiling. So here at Sorbonne University Abu Dhabi, with our partners, we join this journey to empower and encourage women to pursue career in STEM and to bring together all actors of the society to challenge and change the social and gender bias. So thank you for coming today. And now please join me in welcoming Mr. Inigo Febrel, the EU Deputy Head of Mission to the UAE. Thank you.
Your Excellency, the Ambassador of Panama, esteemed partners from the Sorbonne University of Abu Dhabi and students of the Sorbonne University who have joined us, thank you for being with us today. I also extend a special thanks to our guest speakers who are here today to share their personal experiences as women working in the field of engineering. We are here to celebrate and champion a cause that not only shapes individual futures, but also defines the trajectory of our societies. The inclusion and empowerment of women who are breaking boundaries in their careers. On behalf of the European Union delegation to the UAE, I'm delighted to introduce this event and explore the critical role women play in engineering and the wider fields of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. For centuries, engineering has been seen as a cornerstone of innovation, problem solving, and progress. However, historically, it has been a field predominantly occupied by men. This imbalance is not due to a lack of talent or ambition among women, but rather societal barriers and entrenched stereotypes that persist across cultures. The inclusion of women in engineering is more than a matter of fairness or equality. It is a necessity. Engineering is not just about machines and numbers, it is about people. It's about designing the infrastructure we live in, the technologies we rely on, and the solutions to the pressing challenges of our time, from climate change to healthcare. Women bring invaluable perspective to these challenges, ensuring the solutions we create are equitable and accessible for everyone. The European Union has long recognized the value of gender equality. It is a principle enshrined in our foundational treaties and policies. Through our initiatives and policies, we are actively promoting gender diversity, providing funding and support to women-led research and innovation projects. We have made significant progress in narrowing the gender gap, but we know that this is a shared journey, one that requires global cooperation. Our partnership with the UAE is evidence to this shared vision. Together, we are working to expand opportunities and celebrate the achievements of women who are reshaping the future. Both the European Union and the UAE has taken significant steps in this regard. To the students here today, let me tell you that you are not alone on this journey. There are countless women, both in the UAE and across the European Union, who have walked the path you are embarking on. Take, for example, Farah Chahma, the US Minister for State for Advanced Sciences, who played a pivotal role in the UAE's Mars mission. Or Dr. Tassim Al-Mazroui, an electrical and computer engineering that has been recognized among top 100 global leaders in artificial intelligence. These are women who dared to dream and, more importantly, dared to act. One of the most remarkable aspects of today's event is the collaboration between the European Union and the UAE. It reflects the power of cross-cultural dialogue in tackling shared challenges. By learning from each other, we can accelerate progress towards a world where opportunities are not defined by gender, but by talents and ambition. The European Union is proud to stand beside you as a partner in this journey. We believe in your potential to transform not only your own futures, but also the future of a shared world. Together, we can ensure that engineering and every other field becomes a space where talent knows no gender. Thank you so much.
So, now that's louder and clearer. We're very excited to be here today following the success of our previous panel discussion on women in the military and in the defense sector. Today we host a session on women in STEM, women in engineering to be specific. And to quickly introduce my fellow panelists today, who I'm very proud of, to be honest, let's start with introducing Engineer Farah Chahma. Engineer Farah Chahma is a chemical/nuclear engineer. She graduated from a French engineering school and chartered chemical engineer with 20 years of experience in the nuclear industry. She began her career in Areva and managed international projects for nuclear plants worldwide, so the global experience. She is also today the CEO of Nuvia Sigma, which was established in the UAE in 2021. So that's 4 years ago. And to add to that, Engineer Farah actively promotes women in nuclear and fosters French-Emirati collaborations, which we're going to ask her on later. Moving on to our next panelist, Engineer Paloma. So Engineer Paloma is an engineer in oil and gas and sustainability as well. She has over 15 years of experience in the energy sector, and she holds a master's degree in petroleum engineering from Texas A&M. And she has also a bachelor's degree in mining engineering from Madrid School of Mines. Very interesting thing to study, to be honest. Along with her extensive experience along the energy value chain, from oil and gas, moving to renewable energy and sustainable digital solutions, she works across 4 continents. So not just a global experience, but also working along 4 continents and gaining adaptability and global perspective on engineering challenges, in which we're going to ask questions on later on. Pleasure to have you. Now moving to the Emirati side. Okay. Today we're proud to have our engineer Thuraya Al Hanaee, who's an electrical engineer in oil and gas. She is a reliability team leader at Hashan 5 on sulfur plant at ADNOC Gas. You know, the UAE is big when it comes to oil and gas, so ADNOC. And she has 13 years of experience in this industry. Talking about education, she holds a bachelor's and master's degree in electrical engineering and is a CFA level 1 candidate. All the best with that. She's also part of ADNOC's Future Leaders program, focusing on innovation and operational excellence. And she represented also ADNOC at GasTech, contributing to discussions on achieving 2030 methane emission target, which is very ambitious. Now, moving to our next engineer, Engineer Mouza Al Kaabi. She's an environmental engineer, and she worked at Vinici Energies Group. Mouza holds a master's degree in engineering systems and management from Khalifa University, and a bachelor's degree in architectural engineering from UAE University in Al. She has published also multiple scientific papers and presented at international conferences on energy efficiency and climate change, and she has collaborated as well with prestigious institutes like MIT and IRENA, contributing to the global pursuit at net zero future. A round of applause, please, to our panelists. So, now that we're done with the introductions and you get an understanding of who our fellow panelists are, and your fellow moderator as well, let's move to the question side. And the first question will be generic. So, and it is, what inspired you to pursue a career in engineering, and how did this journey shape your passion in this field? What inspired you? Anyone?
I can answer.
Engineer Paloma.
Is it working? Okay,
It is
perfect. So, well, first of all, thank you so much for giving me the opportunity of being here today. And what inspired me? It has been a combination of 3 factors. It has been, first of all, my family, then my education, and then the opportunities that this field brings. So starting with my family, my dad, he's a mining engineer. He has worked all his life in the oil and gas industry. And my mom, she's a geologist. So I remember since I was little, we were going to the mountains quite often during the weekends. And I remember them talking about the landscape, why it had that shape, or the geology. And I remember also just walking and suddenly picking up a stone and talking about if it was a limestone or if it was a sandstone. And I remember also asking them many questions about the earth, about the nature, about the geology. So I think those conversations were the foundation of my enthusiasm for earth science. So I think my family sparked my interest in engineering. Then moving on to my education, when I was in the school, I excelled in math, physics, and chemistry. They were subjects that I really enjoyed. So engineering, it stood up very clearly. It was the right fit for me. And finally, I think engineering is more than a career. It's a mindset. It's a way of addressing challenges. It allows you to blend this scientific curiosity with practical problem solving, with actions in the world that we are living in. It gives you the tools to shape the future. So, yeah, it was those 3 things: family, education, and
Very
opportunities. That,
so for the audience, if we could recap what inspired her to become an engineer is family, because your mother was in mining?
My mother, she was a geologist.
Okay, so
my dad was a mining engineer.
This explains you going for a bachelor's in the mining field and then taking it on. So family play a very important role in shaping you, and I know many of us have families who tell you doctor, lawyer, but there are different fields to explore. Another thing that you discussed is the fact that you knew what you excelled in at school, so it will help you later on. So if you're not good at maths, don't go to engineering. Do like me, go to communications or business. So these things are clear indicators, and also the fact that you can solve problems as you go on. Now that we have broken the ice in a way, I'm going to shift to specific questions to our engineers. And I'm going to start with Engineer Farah. So Engineer Farah, mashallah, you have 20 years of experience in the nuclear industry, okay, and international projects. What unique skills or strategies have helped you navigate such a specialized and challenging field? So I want you to tell us your tricks. And mashallah, today you're a CEO, so how?
It works? Okay. So, good afternoon, bonjour, salam alaikum to everyone. I think the first question was a good question to start and to talk about engineering. We have a lot of students in the room today. So I guess it's very important to understand what you want to do. Because if you don't know, I mean, you don't understand the sense, I don't know, you will follow the chemistry studies, you want to be a nuclear engineer, you want to be involved in the oil and gas, you want to be involved in the AI, for the new technology. So you have to understand what you want to do. Then it's true, the real life, it's not something very easy. So even if you will have your degree, you will have your certificate, I hope for you very soon, then you will start your career in the real life. And the real life, sometimes you can meet some difficulties, some barriers, some opportunities also. So my first recommendation is first to know what you want to do, then to work hardly. Why to work hardly, especially for the ladies? If you want to follow the science, to be a strong engineer for tomorrow, because you need and you have to win your credibility. And how you will win your credibility is to have a very good, experience, knowledge, skills. And it's not, okay, I will find a sponsor, someone who will help me just to jump, from the position to another position and to have a very good career and to have a very good salary. Because at the end, it's something very interesting also. But I guess you need to secure your position by working very hardly. And you need time. You need time because the timeline, it's not very, okay, so we will start the career in 2-3 years, I will be a manager, I will be a VP, I will be an executive. No, because then you can fall down very quickly also. So I guess for the strategy, I don't have a magic strategy. You have to take your time. You have to make sure that you have the good skills, the good experience. Take your time to talk with other people, to share the experience, and step by step, you will have the opportunity, you will meet good people, and you will understand what you want to do and what you can do. Because sometimes you have some idea on what we want to do, but it's not achievable. So you have to be smart. It's a challenge. It's a long challenge. So for my case, I have 20 years of experience. It's not finished. So I guess I still have 20 years. But even today, I'm learning a lot.
Even more.
I'm learning a lot. And my security is my technical background. Because I am the CEO, so now most of my time is to manage a company, to make a business, to develop our new business, especially in UAE for the nuclear power plant in Baraka. But when I start some discussion, when I am in the meeting, most of the time it's with a male-dominated people in the room, and people will listen me only if they trust me. And they can trust me even if I have a good technical background. And my technical background, I needed time to build it. So take your time. Work very hardly, and step by step you will reach your target.
Superb. So to recap on this is take your time to become a CEO. It requires time. But nevertheless, work hard. And I'm very interested in when she said, have a sponsor. And a sponsor can be a champion, someone who supports you along the way, a mentor in a way. So Now moving on to the fact that you are today the CEO of Nuvia Sigma. What initiatives have you guys developed as a CEO with the promotion of nuclear and enhancing also French-Emirati collaborations as well?
So I hope everyone knows that now in UAE, Baraka, you know Baraka?
Baraka, nuclear plant.
Nuclear plant. So in UAE they have 4 reactors. So it's the beginning of the new life in the nuclear sector. French people, we have a big experience because we have more than 50 reactors in France. So more than 30 years of experience. So when we decided to move to UAE to establish Nuvia Sigma, we wanted to bring our expertise and to make sure that it's not only about the business and to make money. We want to make sure that the young generation, like all of you, you will have a lot of opportunity to learn and to contribute to nuclear projects like Baraka. So we started a lot of initiative, some collaboration between French and UAE university. Some people, they have the chance to go to France, to spend time in France, to have some training, some internship in our company in France, and then to come back and to integrate in our organization in UAE. Then we started a new, it's a new committee. It's a woman in nuclear, so it's more for women. So how we can sponsor, how we can help, how we can drive, we can advise the women who they want to have their career in the nuclear field. So which type of positions they can have. So all the topic and the woman in nuclear now it's a big organization in UAE and soon in the Middle East because UAE is the first country with a nuclear power plant and soon Saudi they will start their nuclear program and we can also talk about other nuclear applications like nuclear medicine. So nuclear sector is very big. We can talk about radioactive waste management also, the connection with the oil and gas. So yeah, we've started a lot of initiative in UAE.
Amazing. I just want to add to that and just a quick briefing on the energy sector in the UAE. So you know that we are an oil-based company and ADNOC is leading on that. But in order to diversify our energy, ENEC was created for nuclear energy and Masdar was created for sustainable energy. So these are diversifications of the energy sector in general. So that's just to give you on a UAE level. And today we have, actually, I'm very proud to have representations from both the sustainability, the nuclear, and also the ADNOC, the oil companies as well. So one last question before I move to my other panelists. And we know that you moved from Europe to the UAE, and that's a big and significant shift. Many of us here also moved from somewhere abroad, but has this transition influenced your leadership style in a way and your career as well?
Yeah, I had the opportunity to be invited the last time to a panel discussion around the diversity. So diversity, it's in UAE, it's a perfect example. In France, even if we have more experience in the organization, the position of the ladies, especially in the science, in the nuclear, I guess in UAE you have a lot of opportunity for young ladies, but also for men, to have a very good career. We are only at the beginning of the long life, like you said, for all type of energy, oil and gas, in nuclear, but also sustainable energy. So yeah, I guess it's for me it was like a trampoline. So I jumped directly from France to UAE, and I was very surprised by the quality of the exchanges, the quality of the university, like in Sorbonne, but also the other university in UAE. And I'm sure that the next year will be very, very interesting for us.
Amazing. So it's really a global experience to live in the UAE here. Now I'm gonna move to Paloma. Okay, a question for you, Paloma. So I know that you're also a mother.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And I'm very interested, in how engineering. Everyone knows that engineering is a demanding job, but how are you able to manage between motherhood and engineering? And can you have it all in a way?
Yes. So here I managed to obtain this balance from a professional and personal point of view thanks to my husband. He has been my major support throughout my career. And here I have a key message that I would like to tell the audience, especially the young ladies. Choose the right spouse. It's very important.
Even for the men.
If you can choose the right spouse, because he or she will be your biggest support during your personal and professional development. My husband, for example, whenever I had to work extra hours and stay late at work, he was the one taking care of the kids. He was the one preparing dinner. And the other way around, whenever he had to stay longer at work, I was taking care of the kids and I was the one taking care of any activity in the house. So it's very important to have a partner, a spouse that will support you throughout that development. So also, for me, it has been a really important support, our family. In Spain, we are very close to our relatives. Family is very important, and I think this is very similar here in the UAE. And the grandparents, my parents and my parents-in-law, whenever I had to travel for several days, they came to visit us. It didn't depend where we were living. If it was in Houston or if it was in Libya or in Denmark or Qatar. They came and helped us with the kids. So that has been also a very important support for us, our family. And the last thing, babysitters. Whenever it was required, we have had, of course, babysitters. So those have been the three biggest supports. My husband, number one, and then family and babysitters. Yeah.
Can I add something? Yeah, because we are talking about the organization. I think it's very important, but the discipline with yourself is the first. The first target, because if you can spend all the time at work, you can spend 15 hours by day at work. If you want to overtake your objective, you will spend more time. But sometimes you have to say stop. I have my private life and I have to go back at home, because if you don't have this balance, good luck to have a long career. So I guess it's very important to have the good organization, but the first requirement is with yourself and to have your own discipline.
Super, thank you. One last question to Paloma, and then I'm going to move to our next panelist. So engineering is a male dominant, I would say, field. Have you faced any challenges?
The main barriers that I have challenged have been personal barriers. They have been related to my motherhood, and they have been related to the expat lifestyle that I'm following. So I have 3 kids, grown-ups now. I have a 21-year-old who is studying medicine in Spain. I have a 17-year-old, and then I have a 15-year-old. And with the 3 of them, I took 1 year of temporary leave when they were born. For me, it was very important to be with them during their first year. Even with my youngest daughter, I extended this temporary leave because I was studying the master's degree in petroleum engineering at that time through the Texas A&M University. They have a distance learning program, and it was just ideal for me at that time because it was giving me the flexibility that I needed to take care of my baby when she was awake, but at the same time to be able to study when she was sleeping. So that flexibility worked pretty well. And what else? I said motherhood lifestyle. Yeah, my expat lifestyle. My husband, he's also a petroleum engineer. So far, every 3 to 5 years, we had to move from one country to another. And early in my career, it was manageable because both of us, we were working in the same company. So we were relocated together. However, later, every time that he had to move, I had to quit my job and I had to focus on settling the family. And this takes time. You need to find a house. You need to find some help for housekeeping. You need to find new activities after school for your kids. You need to also ensure that your kids adjust well in their new lives, in the new country. So yeah, those have been my major barriers.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we have an engineer who's a woman and who's a mother as well and was able to pull this off. Now, thank you so much. And I think this round of applause would also go to Engineer Thuraya, who's a mother of four, by the way. She's also a mother of four. And Engineer Thuraya, mashallah, you have 30 years of experience working in the oil and gas industry, and you've also took part in ADNOC's Future Leaders Program. Okay, so inshallah, you're looking at the next leader here. How does this approach of balancing operational excellence combine with innovation as well? If you can shed light on that.
Perfect. Thank you so much for the question. I don't know if anyone of you knows about what energy to the power of AI that ADNOC is trying to do. Can you raise your hand if you know? None? Did you attend it? Okay, I'll let you know a little bit about oil and gas industry and what's going on over there. So we launched something called Energy to the Power of AI, which is sponsored by ADNOC. And what we are trying to do is leveraging data analytics and AI into the oil and gas industry, which is trying to take each and every segment of our operation and try to make it more sustainable and more less emission kind of thing. Because every time we attended anything related to sustainability, they will come and say, oh, by the way, you are the ones who are polluting the environment. But honestly, we're not. We're doing a lot of things in place. As an outcome of COP28, there was the UAE consensus, and we're following that very, very honestly. And that's why we're coming to operational excellence and innovation, and they work together in line. We had the clear objectives for each one, what we want from operational excellence, and what do we mean by operational excellence. Operational excellence will ensure that we minimize the downtime. By that, we're minimizing our emissions to the atmosphere. And we have a lot of AI into it, where we're trying to embed AI to give us a faster decision making and will predict the future. On the other side, on the part of innovation, we are fostering the culture of innovation, where we seek different collaboration, different partnership with our global companies that we need solutions for 1, 2, 3 challenges. Please give us. Similar to Khalifa University, we have an MOU with Khalifa University that we give them our challenges and please bring to us a more sustainable solution to these. And this is how we are fostering the innovation within the company. Yes, we are a huge company. We are an international company right now with a lot of investments going on outside on the low carbon solutions and the greener solution. And we are working very systematically to ensure that we are achieving our targets, which is net zero by 2045, which is the earliest among all our competitors within the oil and gas industry.
All the best.
Thank you.
I have a question. You in general, in specific, have represented ADNOC at the gas tech.
Yes.
And the gas tech basically discussed the methane emissions targets. So I'm wondering, what are the key challenges with achieving the 2030 objective?
Okay, so what's the target of methane by 2030? Anyone has any idea?
methane يا جماعة. Anyway.
Okay, so we're planning to achieve 25% reduction in the methane emission. And this has been a struggle to bring every oil and gas CEOs in one table and discuss it, because it's not something easy. It's not economically feasible. It's technically, yes, but we will invest a lot of money with non-economical, let's say, solutions. Okay? So what we did is we brought all the big dealers in the oil and gas industry, the big guys, and we tell them by 2030 we need to achieve 25%. How we will do this? It's not on a silo. We need to collaborate all together. What you know, maybe I don't know it. So let's collaborate. Let's try to leverage on the data that we have. Let's try to get the best in the market, the best practices, and share that knowledge and bring it into the future. And in ADNOC last time, we are following very closely with all our partners to ensure that we are really serious to achieve that, not for the UAE but also for the world, and trying to be more responsible on the way that we are dealing with it.
Superb. So to recap, it's collaboration and partnership, which is very important, and your network is your network. That's another tip.
And our people who do all this. So
we drive it.
Exactly. We drive it as a people. We invest in our people to ensure that is happening.
Okay, so now let's move to a more personal question, because we like personal questions as well. So you're a mother of 4, mashallah, and you work as an engineer. So how are you able to balance between being a mother and being an engineer, and what advice would you give to the young ladies who are aspiring to be in a similar role?
Okay.
Okay,
I'm a mother of 4. I have Hamdan, who is 9 years old. I have Hamda, 7 years. I have Hamid, almost 4 years. And Umar, who is 1 year old. So it has been a journey. How the challenge? Okay, the balance, it's okay. It's everyday challenge, by the way. It's not something that I will set it today for the next 1 year, by the way. And I think everyone will have it, either you have kids or not. Ensure it's very kind of a simple equation. It's challenging, but it's doable. First, I agree with Paula on the part of the support. Family support was the biggest support during that journey. I remember what inspires me to be, by the way, in engineering is my mother. She used to say, by the way, your degree, your education will take you to the next step. It's not something else. And although my mother had no degree, she only had the simple mathematics that age and that era. So that's built on inspiring to go next. And I had my master while I was pregnant of Hamda, and at that time it was very challenging again. But it's family support that you need. It's a real partner beside you. It's not just a partner in life, also a partner at work. He was the biggest supporter. He was sharing all the activities. He was flexible. He's not rigid. So it's another thing. In my work, I need to be flexible because I have sometimes sudden things happening, and I was like, can you please take care of them? I will have to go somewhere else. So he's flexible. Plus, the working environment was very supportive in ensuring that balance is there, policies are there. I can be with them whenever it's required and make sure that someone is covering my back. And the most important one in that whole equation is me. I believe so. It's how I try every day to manage, although it's very hard, but try to manage your day, try to plan it, and try
Make it work.
And it's, by the way, it did not work. It's not the end of the day. Yeah, khalas, you have to go next and try it another day. And it's not the end of the story. You have to build on yourself, and you have to be easy a little bit on yourself.
And
you don't have to be
women are
harsh.
powerful, ladies. We're known to be multitaskers and capable of doing multiple things at the same time, but we also need the support of our husband, brother, not necessarily husband, the brother, family, don't support you.
Sure.
Thank you, Engineer Thuraya.
Thank you.
Now let's move to sustainability. More on sustainability. So, Engineer Mouza, your work focuses on energy efficiency and climate change mitigation. So, how do you see engineering driving progress towards a net zero future? Big.
I would like to start by trying to explain the mindset that got me to this point. So, as Thuraya mentioned, we are one of the earliest generation in the country who received higher education as women, which is a very fascinating. We are in a very fascinating point in history, in a very important place where all the important discussions in the world and all important fields are happening right now. So my choice of starting with studying engineering first started with the traditional idea of if you're a high performer at school, your choices between engineering and medicine. And my interest was in trying to maximize my opportunities for growth. What would be the field that would be the first stepping point in joining a discussion that is affecting the entire world? So, my graduating from high school, I had to fulfill two goals: career security. I have to tell my family that I can take care of myself. I can achieve self-sufficiency in terms of financial growth, but also my personal goal, which is my interest in innovation, design, and growth. So I went with architecture and engineering. But then the biggest major step in my life was the opportunity to do research at Khalifa University, which was only like the beginning of the entire journey of joining the conversation about climate change and sustainability. Because what you learn in research is your role in filling the gaps of knowledge. What's really important that no one else can have is your perspective, your life experience, your everything that you went through will give you a very unique asset that you only can use in targeting a very specific problem that the worlds now are facing. We are heading to a point where world problems are becoming more and more specific, and they require very intricate way of thinking that combine many fields, and they require two sides of the brain, the creative and the logical, which is something that women are very good at handling. So when I entered the research program at Khalifa University as part of my master's degree, I had to define my research focus. And coming from architecture and engineering, and with a focus on sustainability, one of the most important topic was energy efficiency in buildings. Since we live in a hot climate, and one of the major factors of energy consumption in the UAE are cooling of buildings. That was my focus of research. But that opened the door to go through different questions about policy, about changing how people live, targeting society, government, and the private sector. So engineers are in the midpoint between all those aspects.
Amazing. And Engineer Mouza, you have an experience working with institutes like MIT and IRENA. Can you tell us some of the lessons that you've learned from working with such global institutes?
So as I said, we are in a very we are in a golden age right now, especially in the UAE, because we are like IRENA is the International Renewable Energy Agency that is now headquartered in Abu Dhabi. So it was just next door for me. I just applied for a summer internship, and they said, "Yes, come. What do you want to do?" I'm interested in policy. What can I work on? They said, "Okay, you have a lot of energy. We have this issue we want you to study. For example, can you write a report about the impact of shifting toward renewable energy on women empowerment in Africa?" So that's a very specific question that combined my experience as a woman, that combined my experience as an engineer and a researcher. So that was my experience in IRENA here in Abu Dhabi, that exposed me to the idea that I can have a part in this very important discussions that are not necessarily technical. They not necessarily require interest only in the. They need understanding based on my experience in my social background and as a woman. And in terms of, I had the opportunity to do a research exchange semester at MIT. And the most important thing I got back from MIT is that MIT is a very impressive place. Students there are the best in the world. So of course, when I went there, it was very intimidating. I barely learned English by the time I was in university, but those are who were like reading entire books by their like very young age. So I at first I wanted to challenge myself.
Didn't scare you.
It was scary, of course, but that's the thing you want. I want to test my true potential in a very competitive environment, and if I get that validation in that kind of environment, I can come back here and say I already succeeded in that very high standard place. And this is something that women should work on, especially in our environment, because I wanted to talk about struggling with imposter syndrome as women. We tend to question ourselves and we doubt our abilities, especially that we come from a sheltered environment that didn't provide us enough challenges to test ourselves in the real world. So I took every possible opportunity to test myself among the most competitive peers and try to achieve the highest standards so I can overcome my self-doubt and feel comfortable to take more like positions of leadership and have the strength to support my recommendations for
So basically put yourself in uncomfortable situations that would force you in a way to level up,
yes.
to grow,
Yes.
and to reach your objectives. And to
Can I
say,
add something to that?
تفضلي, of course.
Women tend to be perfectionists. We are very afraid of fear. But if they made a study that found out that when applying for a job, men tend to apply even if they are only 60% qualified. Women will not apply unless they are 100% qualified.
مشكلة الغريب.
Fake it till you make it. Apply, learn, and you'll get the job done. And you might even excel in your job because you come up with a perspective that no one else would have. So we need to really face risk, and we should destigmatize trying and failing. The more you do it, the more you're comfortable with it. So this is something that would make a huge difference. And for me, what made a huge difference is I said yes to everything. And every opportunity I had to do an internship, I had to do any experience that put me in a different challenging environment. It doesn't matter that it built up on my technical knowledge, but what I needed to do is to test myself in environments that are outside the comfort of the university or the family, anything that puts you in a very challenging position, just so you can know yourself. Once you know yourself, no one takes away that knowledge. You can go through any challenge and say, I've been through that. I solved so many problems. I can easily take care of this, even if the problem itself was difficult, but you've been through it before.
Super. So I'm gonna open the floor now. Before we jump into questions from the audience, I want every panelist to give me one advice for anyone who's interested in taking on an engineering for a field of study or for a career. One advice. Go for it, Farah. Just one advice from every one of you to our audience. Trust in yourself.
Yeah.
So, Engineer Farah says to trust in yourself.
Trust in yourself, yeah, for sure, because it's a good example between the difference between the ladies and the men who will apply it, an example. But I often met some ladies and they say, no, maybe I will not get this position on site. We had a discussion just before the panel of discussion to be on site with most of the men, how we can, what we can do, how we can manage the situation. So yeah, trust in yourself. Try to participate at this type of panel of discussion just to get all the information, to share with the people on their experience feedback, and to know exactly what you want to do.
Exactly. So just to recap now, Farah says trust in yourself and put yourself in places where you can learn, grow your knowledge and your network. Mouza, want to add one more advice? We're collecting advices.
I want to emphasize my advice is as long as you have the time and the energy, say yes to every opportunity you have.
Say yes.
Use
Another
your time.
advice.
It will shape you. It will transform your life.
Okay.
If you are young and you have the time and energy, do it as early as possible, and then you'll have more clarity the more you go forward in life.
Okay. Engineer Thuraya, your advice?
Challenge the status quo. Don't accept anything as normal. Always ask questions. Challenge. What if I did this? Does that will change my outcome? It's not on you that criticizing you, but also looking on the work that you are doing, looking the work around you. Maybe you have something that, oh, by the way, it's an eye-opener. I need to tell them, maybe it will fix a lot of issues that they did not fix, they did not notice even, because they normalized the risk. So challenge the status quo.
Okay, so we have trust yourself, say yes, challenge the status quo. Paloma?
Don't be shy. It's kind of similar to the one from Thuraya. I think it's important to ask as many questions as you have in mind and share your opinion. Sometimes engineers, experienced engineers, we need some fresh eyes. Maybe we need somebody to think out of the box and address the problem from a different angle. So don't be shy and don't undermine or don't don't underestimate the value that you can bring. And also, I would like to add that yes, sharing your opinion will make others to recognize you as well. So go ahead and don't be shy.
Okay, let's recap one final time. You said trust yourself, okay? And say yes, question the status quo, and don't be shy. This is what I'm going to wrap up our panel, but now I want to open the floor for the audience to ask questions to our panelists, something that I might not have asked. Anyone? Questions? Don't be shy, of course.
So for the benefit of our students, I was very interested by the comment that was made about the importance of technical knowledge in managing institutions. So I'm old enough to have known the sorry times in which people thought that with the management training, people could move from managing an airline to managing a chemical plant, etc. Luckily, these times are over. I would like this point to be elaborated upon a bit more. And then a second point, a scientist talking to engineers. I stumbled yesterday on a statistic that said that pupils in primary school today will, 67% of them will be working in lines of job that don't exist now. So what's the engineer's perspective on the importance of studying science, not engineering?
Engineers, who's going to pick this up?
I guess the first point I can answer to the importance to have the technical background. It's very, very important because even if you manage a big group, like I'm sure in ADNOC or NAWA or ADNOC, and you don't understand anything, when you will meet an issue during the operation of the plant, during the outage, and you don't understand, and that you cannot take the good decision. And for taking a good decision, you have to control the situation. So I repeat all the time, learn, and it's also an answer for your second question, because the time is changing very, very, very quickly. And even in terms of technology, we are talking about artificial intelligence. And for our generation, with 20 years of experience, we need to update our knowledge on that. So that's why I'm thinking that we can have these things that don't stop working, don't stop learning, because you have to all the time to update your knowledge to be able to have a good decision and to take a good decision.
Anyone wants to add to that? Or
Well, I just have a brief comment. I think technical expertise is essential, technical skills, but also there are some other skills, what we call soft skills, like running meetings or the way you treat others or the way you handle, you tackle problems. So those skills are also important. So I think it's a combination of, it's a toolbox, yeah.
It's true, you have your basis with the technical background, and then with the time,
will learn about the management, you will learn about the financial management, you will learn about the human resource and the training. So yeah, I guess it's a step by step. That's why, to which we said to reach the position of CEO, it's not one day, and you have time, and you have to keep learning to make sure that you will keep the good level.
About the point of, so I want to explain something about my journey. Like the bachelor in engineering was only the first stepping stone in the gaining all the technical knowledge. The second step that I thought at the time that would provide me with the most exposure to the most novelty in terms of issues to be handled was my choice to go into research, academic research. I did that for a while, long enough to learn the skills to tackle gaps in knowledge that the world needs to rely on to fill and provide solutions. But then I reached the point where I realized that research, it could go forever on a very detailed, you could lose perspective. So I feel like now I'm in an ideal place because I work in a company working in one of the most major fields, which is related to energy. And coming from a background focusing on the environment, I can tackle the biggest issues. And what I work on is receiving the standards from our headquarters in Paris. So Paris Agreement in COP 2015 defined the point of that the whole world now would need to work to maintain the global temperature below 1.5. So I'm working in a very challenging environment where our main source of energy is still, we are now moving away from petroleum, but also I work with standards where the actual agreement was made in Paris. So I'm trying to find my place and put myself in a position where I can have access to the highest novelty, so I can gain a set of skills that no one else can replace me later. So there's a discussion about AI replacing certain careers. I have a point of view that AI, there's a discussion that still we need to make, which is the environmental impact of AI, like all the servers and all the energy required to produce this information actually has a negative effect that goes in a negative loop to our interest for the environment. And this kind of perspective you can't gain by getting a job in administration or just doing something very comfortably to serve the bureaucracy. You have to take an active role in trying to find the gaps in knowledge and filling them.
Just on the other point, on the last thing, on the jobs that will not be available, or it's now they're studying it and it will not be. It will not exist.
No.
It will not exist. Some jobs.
Jobs that they will be doing will not exist now.
They don't exist yet.
Yes. So what we are doing, we have a couple of what we did internally. We've identified some of the jobs that it may not really required in the near future. So what we did is we had set of skills to redirect these employees to have different set of skills that it will require for us to be part of that, and they will be shifted to that new skills. And this is how we are believing that this is a continuous improvement, continuous learning of all our workforce. If it's going to come to the educational level, I believe we, as operational or as a company that has a lot or history, legacy of having a lot of workforce within us, we send in a yearly basis our requirement to the education to know exactly what is required in the workforce in the future and how they can support us in meeting that. So I think establishing this communication between the educational institutes and the workforce institutions, it's very dynamic and it's very important.
So we need to be ready for the future jobs that don't exist today, and to be ready for it in terms of our skills and the agility of you are as individuals and as corporates as well to create these jobs for the future workforce. One more question and we're going to wrap it up. No women asking questions, all men? Now, students ask questions. Don't be shy. We just learned that.
Good afternoon, everyone. I have a question because when we talk about career, I think we have to consider the network. Network is key. So what would be your advice for young students who want to develop their network in the UAE?
So first of all, to have a LinkedIn account. to use, by the way, the new time, I mean, the new technology, it's easier to follow the changing in the world, and then to participate at all the events, so the different organizations, and to make sure that you say that they will build that their networking step by step, maybe through internship and some contact with the support of the, I mean, in university and so on.
By the way, engineers tend to be introverts in a way, so they need to push themselves to be uncomfortable in uncomfortable situation where they tend to meet people, network, join the communities out there, women in AI or people of sciences, and be part of this community because you are who you associate with. So you need to be part of this association. Today you are an associate of Sorbonne, but upon graduation, you need to find your communities and find your people as well. Thank you so much.
Just one comment, and the networking is not only about a professional one. I guess in the life you can meet a lot of people out of, professional events, during the sport event, during the family event, and don't hesitate again, don't be shy, and don't hesitate to ask a question and to learn.
Exactly. Thank you, ladies. Thank you so much, audience. I hope you enjoyed this. Too many more. Merci beaucoup.